amazing story coming out of Vanity Fair about the inner workings of the Trump administration. There's no end to these stories, but this one is a doozy because it turns out that Donald Trump has decided that Ivanka's husband, not only is he questioning his decisions, I don't know what the implications of that will be. Will he be fired? That would be amazing. But when Donald Trump thinks you're an idiot, oh boy, man, that is as almost as low as it can get if you're in the right wing. I mean, left wing, of course, he has a lot of mistaken impressions about. Okay, so Sam Nunberg is a person who used to work for Trump's campaign, and here's what he says about the mood now that Manafort and others have been arrested. Here's what Manafort's indictment tells me. Mueller is going to go over every financial dealing of Jared Kushner and the Trump organization. And I hope that's true, and if it is true, I believe they will find amazing, terrible information in there. And that family is in way bigger trouble than they realize. Nunberg continues, Trump is at 33% in the Gallup poll. You can't go any lower, he's fucked. Now, that is a former campaign aide to Donald Trump, a guy on his side, but he thinks they're in a world of trouble. By the way, he is wrong about one thing. He can and he will go lower than 33%. I guarantee it. Okay, now continuing with the Gabriel Sherman story in Vanity Fair, he explains for the first time since the investigation began, the prospect of impeachment is being considered as a realistic outcome and not just a liberal fever dream. According to a source, advisors in the West Wing are on the edge and doing whatever they can not to be ensnared. So there's panic inside the White House that they're going to get caught up in the impeachment. This is my favorite part of the story, even more than the Jared Kushner part. One person close to Dina Powell and Gary Cohn said they're making sure to leave rooms if the subject of Russia comes up. Those are the Goldman Sachs people. They came in to pilfer the place. They're like, well, we came here for the tax cuts. We want to make sure that our corporations and our rich friends got all of the tax cuts we ever dreamed of. I don't want any part of Russia. I don't want any part of criminal investigations, okay? We do our pilfering legally. We just buy off the government, we legalize bribes, and then we bribe the government so much they put us into power, and then we pass legislation to give trillions of dollars to our rich friends. But we don't want any part of Russia. Where's the exits? Where's the exits? When the Goldman guys start to look for the exits, you know that you're in trouble. Okay, an unnamed White House source tells Vanity Fair his options are limited, referring to Trump. And his instinct is to come out swinging, which won't help things. That's partly how he got in trouble in the first place. He fired James Comey because he had begun an investigation of him, which made things far worse. And then, like an idiot, said on national television, yeah, I fired him because of the Russia investigation. You pretty much just proved obstruction of justice. So yes, Trump will likely come out swinging because he doesn't know how stupid he is, and probably wind up punching himself in the face as he has done many times. But we're gonna go back to that Comey firing because apparently that's part of what they're so mad at Jared Kushner about. So speaking to Steve Bannon on Tuesday, Trump blamed Jared Kushner for his role in decisions. Specifically, the firings of Mike Flynn and James Comey that led to Mueller's appointment, according to a source briefed on the call. When Roger Stone recently told Trump that Kushner was giving him bad political advice, Trump agreed, according to someone familiar with the conversation. Damn. Who's that under the bus? Oh, look, it's his son-in-law. Come here, I've got a great wedding for you. You're gonna get married to my daughter. Oh no, it's a Jared wedding. Look, first, there's two things that are part of this. Fine, three. Look, if you're gonna get me to defend Jared Kushner or try to defend Jared Kushner, you're gonna fail. Jared Kushner is guilty of knowing all of this stuff, helping Donald Trump with his horrific policies, and he is not very bright at all. Remember, his dad had to basically bribe Harvard with $2 million to get him in. Then he did one of the worst real estate deals in New York history. He's a serial bungler, just like his father-in-law. So am I surprised that Kushner gave bad advice on firing Comey and Flynn? No, I'm not remotely surprised. But number two, you can't get rid of personal responsibility. Okay, I thought Republicans were for that. Trump, whenever something goes wrong, goes, that's not me, it's not me, it's him, it's him, it's him. But he's running out of people. And kind of like Tony Soprano, he's gonna have to go to his family now and go, oh, now you go under the bus. But once you've thrown your family under the bus, there's no one left. This looks like the end game. So, and then number 3, specifically on the Comey firing, you're gonna blame Kushner? You wanted to fire Comey. You said all along that you were disgruntled with Comey. You said on national TV you wanted to fire him because of the Russia investigation. You are ultimately responsible no matter who gave you the advice, and you can't kid anyone that you didn't want to fire Comey. What, your son-in-law twisted your arm? No, you wanted to fire him. Mike Flynn's a different story. You thought his corruption was part of your corruption and you probably wanted to protect him, but Comey you definitely wanted fired. Okay, back to Nunberg, the Trump campaign aide. He said, Jared is the worst political advisor in the White House in modern history. Damn. He went on to say, I'm only saying publicly what everyone says behind the scenes at Fox News, in conservative media, and the Senate, and Congress. So, they don't say it to our face, but internally, apparently they all think Jared Kushner is a total moron. But don't worry, luckily he's only in charge of half of the policy at the White House, the China policy. He's supposed to bring us peace in the Middle East. He's in charge of, there was one broad definition of how he was in charge of fixing everything at the White House, such a Trumpian thing, right? And it goes on and on. So apparently all conservatives behind the scenes agree Jared Kushner is an idiot, and you gave him half the White House to run. Nicely done, Donald. Help us build independent media. Become a member of the Young Turks. TYTnetwork.com/join.